Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Not Boring podcast. Today I'm joined by Akarsh,
Hello, everyone.
Sid,
Hello.
and Sky.
Hello?
All right.
Yeah, you
Why is
muted me,
that
didn't
so
you?
delayed?
Oh man. Anyway, okay.
Karthik, would you like to introduce our first topic?
Yes, I thought we can start with the education system first. So
Yeah,
let's talk about,
that's fine.
well, first, what do you guys think of the education system?
So, are we only exclusively talking about like the UK?
I think,
I'm assuming we are.
yeah, let's keep it for the UK.
I mean,
It's a pretty
the
broad
education
topic.
system's kind of universal, but
Yeah,
well, in general, I think education systems suck and we need reform.
yeah, I agree.
Pretty much.
That's pretty straight up.
I mean, yeah, like tests are dumb,
Tests are dumb.
teaching is dumb. Yeah, I mean, like it's just learn information and then write it down on a piece of paper and then forget it.
uh,
That's
you gain some skills doing that. Like you gain how to control your timing. You gain how to, manage structure. How you do the test. Like it's not really that you learn something at the same time you develop on skills. So
Yeah. Perhaps the only useful tests would be maths and maybe English, but the rest is just pretty much regurgitating information.
yeah, I agree with you, Sean.
And maybe languages could be an exception.
What about you,
Maybe.
Karthik?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of half and half, kind of like Sid, because I, I'm not a huge like fan of the education system in terms of like them testing you, and it's kind of like a memory game. You just have to memorize
Yeah,
everything and then do well. But I think as you grow, it slowly changes. I'm not too sure about this, but like, um, I think maybe as you enter like university, there's a bit more of personalization. You learn exactly what you want. I think yeah, but it does kind of come down to memory. But you
I
also
feel like
learn quite a few skills, as Sid already mentioned.
the education system is tailored to like one specific group of people who are very good at just learning under those kind of circumstances. Like they're just given information, they learn it, and that's it.
Yeah,
But like some people can't learn that way. They need like practical work.
yeah,
They need maybe some like sensory input, such as like hearing or something like that. Um,
yeah,
Instead of just reading a piece of paper that has information on it again and again until they can't forget it.
yeah,
Not gonna lie, that actually sometimes works for me. As in, my memory is a little weird. It's just like if I like it and there's good enough images and I can actually associate it with something, then I can remember it fairly well. For example, if I'm learning about some kind of, I don't know, weird formula in chemistry, then I'd somehow like associate it with some event happening, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that happened," and then I remember the formula, and I'm like, "Okay." So that's kind of weird, but yeah, sometimes it works.
and I think like um, well, this is kind of going into uni, but education is kind of expensive as well as you grow older, and you've
Yeah,
really got to think.
especially in America.
Yeah, especially yeah, and like now at this point, people are paying for Zoom classes. They're paying what, I don't know, at least 10K a year just for Zoom classes at the moment. But even in
Yeah,
general,
it's
it is
insane.
pretty expensive thing, and some people are not. They don't like that kind of education, but they have to pay because, well, they're in this whole education system trap.
Yeah, they need a degree to get a job
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah,
Then even after you get a degree, you have to struggle.
yeah,
At least Elon Musk is doing something about it because he's like, "I don't give a damn about your degree. If you got the skills, you're in."
yeah. I think like with the degree versus skills, like especially large companies, um, it is changing now. But like in
Slowly
general,
but surely.
the way it is it's like they want to hire people who are for sure really like good people in that field. So they want to hire those people with those degrees because they know for sure that they're going to do well. Whereas with skill, it's like it's something that's growing nowadays. Like people are looking at skill, um, but I think it will take time before they focus on skill.
Yeah, I feel like there are quite a few more alternatives. Like back if you go like 30, 40 years ago, it was like a degree or nothing.
Yeah,
Like you either work at McDonald's or you get a degree.
yeah,
Um, Now you have like apprenticeships, you have online classes.
yeah,
There's a lot more routes,
yeah.
but I feel like university is still the main one.
Mm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just feel like it should be more diverse and it shouldn't be like most businesses are just looking at a degree. I feel like most businesses should consider other fields as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more problem though. This may not be so much relevant to the country that we're in right now, but basically, I've been doing research on like what university I would like to go to, and there's this one university in Russia which has my dream course, and it's like completely right on the spot, exactly the stuff I need to learn, the stuff that they got really good facilities. The course actually covers a lot of stuff, and it's also not too fast paced. Like in Cambridge, you have, or well, maybe not just Cambridge, but even in Queens, you have 3 years for bachelors and 1 year for masters. They got a slightly more extended, where you can spend more time on like campus life and stuff like that. They have like an extra year, but that's in Russia. But anyway, basically, the problem I'm talking about here is student accommodation is another big thing. Like maybe not so much here, but especially in the countries where it's maybe not so much taken into consideration. That university that I was researching on, the hostels over there, even the international branch where people from other countries come around, like the hostel over there is not exactly the greatest. As in, you could find yourself in a little bit of a cockroach infestation, or you could have like a little bit of a well, just the kitchens may not be the greatest, and some stuff may not work. It's even worse when it comes to the actual accommodation for the people who live in Russia. Like they don't get the international VIP stuff. For example, um, they have one floor has to share one bathroom for like showers, and that is just what, and that probably should be fixed.
Yeah, yes, Ron, I get your point, but the thing is, that's more education lifestyle. That I wouldn't consider that education system. Like that's more what you come
Yeah,
across, and moreover,
Fair
like
enough.
when we criticize education systems, I think they're good. So like, I want to get your opinions on what you want the education system. Like, what's your ideal education system that you
Yeah.
would like?
I think that's a valid point because I've spent enough of my lifetime criticizing the education system, but not
Exactly.
thinking about how we can actually improve it. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I think like loads of people are starting up startups and they're coming out with these like online platforms where they're a bit more like creative and a bit more challenging, and they're not like super strict into what you're doing. Like now, if you go into year 7, you have a syllabus that you have to complete and you have exams at the end of the year on that syllabus. It's like it's pushed onto you, it's forced onto you. But some of these startups, they're kind of allowing you to be creative with your own content, and figure out for yourself what you're interested in, and allow you to do that from a young age instead of forcing material onto you. So I think that's one thing that people have been doing.
yeah. I agree with that. Like honestly, right? They should give more choice and freedom to the students
Exactly. I believe in that as well.
in like whenever you go to a secondary school or grammar school, for the first 3 years anyway, for the grammar school that I go to, there's a set amount of subjects and you have to do all of them.
Mm.
You cannot choose to drop them. You just like you have no choice. And then in the
Yeah,
fourth year, whenever you go to GCSE, then you can choose subjects. And then in A levels, you get to specify even more. But I feel like we should get that option earlier on, so
yeah,
we don't have to waste 3 years learning material that we're not going to use.
And
yeah,
plus, you're gonna have like tests based on those subjects. When you do the test, you might not necessarily get the results you want, and disturbs your confidence, which might cascade onto other subjects. I mean that's a possibility. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
100% certain, but it's still a likelihood. So
This may not be so much on topic, but I probably would like to suggest a possible improvement, or just an idea actually, maybe not an improvement, just an idea that you can think about. Um, how did people learn before the education system? Skills were passed on from like ancestors usually, and they were given like these families were given certain trades. Like you can have a blacksmithing family, you can have like a samurai family, you can have any kind of families, honestly, and they have
Samurai
like specific.
family.
I don't know. I was thinking about Japan for some stupid reason. All right, because
Samurai
shut up.
family.
I don't care.
Man
I
said
don't care.
samurai
But
family.
I mean, not now. I mean, I meant like 100 years ago. You don't have blacksmiths anymore right now, all right? So basically, I'm talking about like 100 years ago plus or whatever. Okay, and they wouldn't have proper like yeah. So trades are usually passed down from ancestors, and that actually works really well because you got a certain bonding with your family, and you spend a lot more time with them, and you can do things gradually. And but the problem is, if you don't want to do that certain trade and you want to go into a different trade, um, you can, I suppose, you could like ask for favors or I don't know, pay something like for like another person to teach you. But
What's
usually
your
it's just
point here?
passing down.
I'm so
I'm
confused.
just saying this is an idea that you can think about. Trades
What?
being passed down.
What, like inheritance? So if you're a blacksmith's son, you have to be a blacksmith.
I don't mean you have to be. I just mean that it's a way that it's how do I say this? Okay, Cargo's dad. He's an IT specialist, ain't he? Yeah. So Cargo has pretty much got that trade in there right now.
I'm just
So
saying he's
instead
also
of
my
having to
dad.
go to university,
FYI.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you see, this is the thing. Sid has a different trade that he wants to actually go for, which is in sports. So what does he do? He pays for like a coach to teach him, not go to some kind of massive in class or like go to like a classroom and start learning about sports. No, he just has a coach like for him. They spend time together. They actually play the sport properly, and both of them take things from each other. Possibly, I don't even know, but like mainly Sid learns. So yeah, if Sid has a different trade, he goes to some other person, pays him a certain money, or like agree on something. He learns, and then he has that trade, which is in this case sport. Cargo, he prefers a trade that his father is already in, so he can learn the skills that his father already has. And since times are moving on and there's more technologies coming out, he can learn those extras along the way, like from other sources. Yeah, but right now everyone is thinking family heritage, people learning from ancestors. Nah, we're just gonna chuck them into school. I'm not gonna care about my own sons like teaching it myself.
Okay, moving on.
I mean, they're gonna.
Because if you think about it, everyone is specialized in something. So
I don't know what
uh,
he's talking about.
if you're
I'm gonna
special,
be real.
Flip,
Is he
how am I
gonna
supposed to say
realize?
this?
We
Sometimes we just.
Basically,
drift off.
general education
blame
isn't
you.
required too much. Wait, Flip!
Is he gonna join back? Okay, he did.
Did I leave? I left.
You left me.
I disconnected you.
Oh,
I hate you so much. I was speaking for like an extra minute there.
but
Yeah, you were
you
speaking for
to
like 2
yourself.
minutes straight, fam.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
all right, guys. Do you have any more inputs in this topic?
Yeah. I have one last thing. I feel like, because in a classroom there's like 30 students for one teacher, and I feel like the teacher can't really get on like they can't help each student individually that much.
Yeah.
Like she has to divide her time a lot,
Yeah.
and that affects the teaching quality. So I feel like classroom sizes should be reduced to maybe like 10 students or 15 students per teacher, but that would be very expensive to do. But that's just a thought.
I mean, you can do your independent education, because nowadays, like, you got so many online resources, you don't really need to depend on teachers. So, I mean, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, that can really.
It's kind of off
Yeah, that can.
off teachers, but like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of aiming for as well, ish. As in, you don't actually have to learn from like these class teachers. You can just get them from people with certain trades, or if you can't get them from people, online.
Yeah, I think online has helped with that. So my point would be like online, like for example, maybe not necessarily Udemy or some of these online platforms, but like for programming, there are some websites where you can get direct one-to-one help. So if you're stuck in a problem, they can help you out like
Oh my god,
directly.
Stack Overflow though.
Um,
Stack Overflow is like a legend.
Yo, boys, believe it or not, sorry, Karthik. I just searched up the best education systems in the world, and United States comes first, and we come second in UK.
What?
no, that's
That is
false.
not
That's
true.
false.
UK comes second.
That's 100%
It's
false.
gotta be. Like we're.
No,
we're-
isn't it like it's some Scandinavian country?
Yes,
'Cause
Yeah,
I remember
Finland
I
has.
thought it was,
quite
I thought it was
sure it's-
Denmark or yeah.
Finland
I thought it was
is
Denmark or
amazing.
something.
some Scandinavian country. I watched a video on it, and apparently what they do is they have like no homework for like the first part of
Oh,
their
that is amazing.
education journey, and they have
Oh,
shorter
yes.
school days as well. And I'm pretty sure college is like free, if not really cheap.
Yeah.
So their educating
Hell yeah, dog.
education rating is really high.
But that's actually quite contrasting because generally Scandinavian countries are very expensive to live in. Like this cost of living is much higher than in general. But
Yeah,
you can
true.
get education for free, which is quite, different.
Taxes are a lot higher. That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, there's things we could adapt from the Scandinavian countries. Like, their no homework policy. I'm a big fan of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
And
same.
the shorter school days, I feel like it just alleviates pressure off of students to perform outside of school. Like, they can actually learn things that they want to learn outside of school.
Yeah.
Thing is, we're literally in that situation in the lockdown. We're literally in our own freedom at the moment. I don't know about you guys, but I am because I barely get set any work from school.
Yeah,
I
same
was
here. I
getting
mean,
set
I
a
get
lot of work from school, but I'm not anymore, and it's great. I can actually do some individual learning.
yeah, because we've all benefited a lot from this quarantine. Actually, like Cargo, he's got plenty of work that he's getting done with his free time.
I have uni.
I'm pretty sure at least. And
I have uni next
What?
year, mate. Well, yeah.
sound like you're
yeah,
about
so
to
Not
die.
so
you're
fun.
yeah, you do. You sound like oh please someone kill me.
Nah, it's fine because I mean,
Yeah.
like now, well, I've kind of got used to it, and I mean, like now at least I can choose.
That's
the
kind of a
exact
daunting
subject
thing.
I can do. That is daunting, yeah.
Honestly, I'm excited for university. I'm like sign me up.
Yeah, same in a way, yeah.
Same. I want to get out of grammar school as soon as I can.
I thought grammar school was meant to be nice.
No,
No,
it's
I
horrible.
don't. Yeah.
Alright,
All
so
right,
I
guys.
think it's about time we move on to the next one then.
Yes.
If you guys
So,
don't mind.
Music.
so we have
Yeah, I
well,
guess.
Yeshwan.
You can introduce.
Music. Alright, the next topic we're going to be talking about is music. So, we got plenty of experience in the music field right now. So, we've got plenty of. We got people who can play music here. So, I got the drum kit, I can play that. Man Ockers over here, he can play the guitar. And of course, over here, we got two VIP music creators of themselves. We got Cargo and Sid. They've actually made some music on their own.
Using loops.
Not very professional, but it's something.
Using GarageBand.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It was
They
fun.
made something.
Yeah.
Like GarageBand
Yeah,
is so much
so-
better than LMMS, though.
I'm a bit of an artist myself. Have you guys heard of Bean Time?
Oh, speaking of art,
That's a
oh my
classic.
god.
We're gonna add that link in the podcast
No,
description.
we're not.
Yes,
no,
we are.
we're not.
Make sure you check it out.
Wait, what's bean time?
Why'd you laugh to it?
I was laughing. I was thinking about something else and laughing.
Alright, yeah. I'm just joking,
This
man.
one's in another dimension.
As in like
I think he's just.
no, I'm not in a different
go
No,
on.
it's because Cargo said something. Wait, Flip. He said
Right, he's
something
just been kicked out, I
before
think.
that it's bean time. I haven't been kicked out, have I?
All right, Yashwan. Well, so I don't actually do that much music because I don't actually do an instrument. I used to do the violin, which was pretty good. But what kind of like benefits have you had from doing, well, playing instruments?
I think we were going to talk about more about our music interests and stuff.
Oh, well.
I mean, we'll do both. We'll do both. All right. We'll start off with Cargo's question. All right. So, what has playing the instrument done for me? All right, it's a very big stress relief for one, because if you've had a bad day or if just things have not been great, you can just jam to the music and just feel like, yeah, nothing is gonna matter to you anymore. Just feel the music and everything will flow out. You're good. It's just a great stress relief. And
Yeah.
um, in terms of actually your psychological impact as well, it's very relieving. And if you connect with the lyrics or whatever song you're actually listening to, then, well, listening to while playing the instrument, you can really feel like a proper. Uh, you just, I don't want to sound spiritual, but like, because this is psychological analysis, but I don't want to go too much into science though either. So I'll just say it just feels good there. Okay, just feels good.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, like playing the guitar is great and all. It's just something to do, I guess.
I love it when
I
you
mean,
play
I
the
get
guitar. It's just so relaxing.
yeah, it takes your mind off things, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
relaxing.
yeah. For you guys have relaxing. When
We're
I'm
more
playing the
of that
drum
heavy
kit, it's all
metal,
about energy.
hardcore lifestyle.
Yeah, the thing is, the energy, it flows with you so well. It's like, you just want to headbang all day.
Yes, one auditory descriptions. I think we need to cut that out.
What?
Okay, now let's move on to Akarsh's question, which is about interests in music.
Yeah, so what kind of genres do you guys listen to?
Pop.
Or any artists or bands or?
I just listen to pop music, whatever's trending, and if I like it, then I continue. But yeah, like I mean,
Give us an example. Go on.
some artists I listen to. I guess you guys are gonna hate this, but Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Selena Gomez.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish is not bad. Like, she's literally the year above me, and Jesus.
I just know her for that one song where she's like, "I'm the bad guy."
Duh.
That was a
Okay.
big trend.
Yeah,
That exploded.
yeah. I think that's what made her like really famous,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Or am
Yeah,
I
she
just
won an
missing it?
award as well last year, or well.
Oh, it's
beginning
got
of
a
this year.
billion plays on Spotify. That's mad.
Yeah,
Problem is, I didn't really like the energy of the song. So
I don't think her songs are meant to be energetic. They're more like dark.
Yeah.
yeah, but well, there are songs that are energetic and dark at the same time. If you listen to "Let Me Hear," by
Yeah,
Fear
but
and
that
Loathing in
doesn't mean
Las
that her
Vegas,
songs need to be energetic.
I know it's just my preference. I prefer them to be energetic. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying it's my preference.
So what? Who do you listen to?
Oh, me. Wait.
I
Who
said
did you
Sid.
say? Flip. You cut out, so I thought you were talking to
Well,
me.
I mean, I'm kind of moving on to that rap. I don't know, a slight rap come pop, like Post Malone. As
Yeah.
he's got some banging songs, and I don't know.
Your boy Jaden.
Oh yeah, hell yeah,
Who?
yeah. Jaden Smith, he's got some really good songs. As in, they're more rap, but it's the only kind of rap I like, more or less. So, I rate that.
Well, we got a diverse music range here, at least.
But generally
I mean-
speaking, I prefer listening to soundtracks, not really songs anymore. Now I've kind of moved on to soundtracks like Inception,
Just
Interstellar,
EDM.
like these stuff.
Oh right. Okay.
They've got
okay.
so much
like
depth.
movie soundtracks.
I think. Well, I listen to music just generally, like whenever we're going out in the car or whatever. But I listen to songs, not music. I listen to just background music when I'm studying.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. I mean,
I
it is
don't-
it is quite distracting if you're listening to a song and
Yeah.
trying to study at the same time.
Yeah.
I tried
Like
that
you
before.
need to have a song with no lyrics or something like
Yeah.
that.
I have a question. Does Doom soundtracks count as background music?
I don't know. I've never listened to them.
I think it does, but that's a bit more. I'd say that would distract me for sure, because that's like a lot more.
I don't know. When I say background music, I mean like when I'm doing something else, not like studying. Like when I'm studying, I usually have peace and quiet.
Well, yeah, yeah. Background music is background music.
Or,
You can
for some
listen.
reason, I study better with like noise instead of music. As in, If you have like rain sounds or something like that, I study better.
I don't think I've said my music preferences,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
add
go
them in
for
here
it.
I
now.
was gonna
Yeah,
ask,
yeah.
but
Sorry.
Big fan of 21
oh,
Pilots. I like Half Alive, they're another band, and just rap in general. So
okay.
I like Baby No Money and Travis Scott. There's
Oh
just
yeah,
some
Travis
You got me
examples.
Scott's not
hooked on.
bad.
Okay.
You got me hooked on 21 Pilots for like a good few years.
Yeah, no, I've been following them for a while.
Yeah, I like them as well. They've got good music. How about you, Yashwant? I guess you've kind of hinted at what you like.
Yeah, heavy metal.
Yeah.
Well, I actually do. I actually quite like a very large variety, actually. Um, I mean, right now I'm quite hooked on heavy metal, but I listen to quite a lot. As in, 21 Pilots is classified as pop. I used to listen to them quite a lot. I quite
Hmm.
like them. Heavy metal, your Doom soundtracks. More recently, they call it Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Some Death Note tracks as well. And then I used to listen to rock as well, which is like it's a different thing from heavy metal. A lot of people kind of put them together as one genre, but they're separated actually. So rock, you could have a little bit more emphasis on other instruments rather than just the guitar. As in, you can have a lot more bass, and you can have a lot more like you can even have pianos into it as well. Like Unravel was a good song. I think does it count under as rock or does it count under as blues? I'm not sure. But yeah, I quite like all kind of genres except for well, actually no, I do like rap as well sometimes.
Okay.
I quite like all songs actually genres. Just if they're good, they're good. Like I listen to electro as well.
Okay, I mean we've been talking about modern stuff. What about traditional? Like no traditional.
Classical music.
I mean like no like Michael
Classical,
Jackson.
classical.
Michael Jackson, something like that. A bit
Oh,
older.
Michael Jackson is
He's a
he
beast.
is
He's a
yeah,
flipping
but
beast.
not like his music is good, but he isn't as a person.
By the way, guys, have you seen his drummer?
Yes,
Um,
you showed me.
was it you by any chance?
Yeah, yeah. No, not me. Do you think I could? Do you think I can actually? Do you? Yes, I wish
Nah,
I
you'll
could
get
actually
there,
keep
man.
up
You'll get there.
with.
Yeah,
No, there's
one
no
day
way.
you'll
Wait,
be Michael Jackson's drummer. You'll
no,
get there. You'll get there.
no. There's no way in hell I would be able to keep up with MJ's drummer. His Mofet Sugarfoot, I think that's his name. Sugarfoot was his like studio name, and his actual name is like uh something Mofet, I think, or is it Mofet something? Mofet. He is as accurate as an atomic clock. Every single one of his plays. It's like, what the hell is this man?
Yeah, yeah, I can, because I saw some of his videos. He is a pretty insane drummer. I think Arkus showed one as well. It was like this kid who was smashing
Ukulele
The
guy.
drums.
ukulele kid.
Ukulele kid.
Yeah,
Fengi.
he was on the Ellen show. That guy.
Hell yeah, dog.
There are lots of
He was
talented people in the music
insane.
industry. It is a very
Yeah,
creative
no.
thing.
But the guys who actually we need to praise for is the guy who made the like the instruments. We never talk about them. Who talks about them?
Honestly,
Who
the
made the
guy who made the
instruments?
drums, the guy
Who
who
made
made
the
the drum
drums
was
sick?
literally like, what if I take stick? It's just like, what if I take stick and hit this?
Smash it
Oh,
together.
it makes a sound. Let's make a lot of sounds. Boop, beep, boop. What kind of music? What kind of instruments do you actually prefer to use when you're actually making any kind of song? Or what kind of instrument would you like to hear in a song?
Piano.
I like beats, like
Piano.
drums with not too heavy beats, but just like, you know, not like 1,000
Yeah, I know what you mean.
BPM, but
Drum bass.
yeah,
Yeah, drum and bass.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mainly like Weekend. You guys are quite like Weekend, right?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. He's quite a large drum and bass enthusiast.
Yeah.
Sid, don't you want to get into guitar?
I really want to try guitar, but I mean,
Do you want to try it or do you want to get into it?
oh yeah. I mean, if I actually get the guitar, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna start learning more and more. But not as of yet. I'm gonna give it a little break.
I'm just gonna give a little piece of advice for like when you're buying a guitar, right?
Yeah,
If you're gonna go through with it, like if you're gonna proper like
do it.
yeah, I would say get an expensive one. They're like £300 or something, but it's so much more worth it because if you get like a £80 one, it's like cheap plastic. The shape of the guitar is just it's not comfortable.
Right.
That I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, my drum kit costed like £250.
That's actually
that's
pretty.
good.
I thought it would cost more than my guitar.
That's what I thought as well, because there's
Yeah,
a lot more.
What's your guitar? How
Yeah.
much is your guitar?
My guitar is like 300 and some 60 maybe
Oh, that's
360.
solid.
something.
I mean that's quite a bit,
Yeah.
quite a lot,
It's
quite a lot.
it's a good guitar. It's a good quality guitar.
Fair enough. Right. So next topic we are going to talk about is fiction versus non-fiction books, not films, books.
This was your topic, so I mean, why don't you introduce it?
Right. Well, I've basically done the basic introduction, but personally speaking, I don't mind what book I read, as long as it's a good book. I'll read it.
Really?
And if it's something someone recommends
I-
me, I'm definitely gonna read it because there must be a reason for them recommending it to me particularly. So, you know,
Wait, is non-fiction the information ones or is
non-fiction.
fiction? Non-fiction is the
Bro.
Non-fiction
non-fiction
is the
information.
like facts or biographies or autobiographies.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I think those books suck.
Yeah, okay.
most of
You
the
want to get
time.
more. You want to get more fantastical and magical. That's a, no.
What are
No.
you? You're putting words
No.
into my mouth here. Yes, you are. You're saying that I like fairy princesses or something like that.
Yeah, that is fiction.
That's what you're trying to.
Story tonight. Get ready for it.
No, okay. The reason, right? I'm saying that I don't like non-fiction books is I feel like you have to be really interested in them to keep reading them. Whereas
true.
with a fiction book, a plot will like make you keep reading.
Yeah.
Whereas a non-fiction book, the only driving factor for you to keep reading is your interest, and I don't think that's just
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know
Weird.
Yuval Harari. Yuval Harari is a very he's a big historian and philosopher. He literally makes the world you live in the plot.
like
Like in *Sapiens*, he talks about
Oh, he wrote *Sapiens*.
uh yeah,
Okay.
he wrote the book *Sapiens* and *Homo Deus* and stuff like that. He literally takes the world around you and literally makes it that. So you remember all this stuff is happening right now. Here's the plot which caused everything to happen right now to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. That's like a book that I definitely want to read. But going back to Akash's point, I think he's pretty much hit the nail on the head of what I think. But yeah, with fiction books, uh, they make you like want to read, whereas nonfiction, you've got to have interest to read them. And if you want
yeah,
to get into the habit of reading, I recommend fiction because that definitely
100%.
Plus, if you want to
make
read
you a better reader.
non-fiction,
And that is what I
you
did
gotta
as well.
relate to what they're talking about. It's not like you're gonna read. For me, I'm not gonna read something non-fiction about a programming book. Like that's just not something related to me. So, like I think you reach out to a smaller audience in terms of non-fiction.
A lot smaller, yeah.
It's kind of retarded the way I actually started reading from non-fiction.
It's not. It's not
fiction.
retarded. It's just.
Like the complete.
I mean, it's not. It's the way probably why he started. He just gained interest in that. So, I mean,
I think from what I know, Yeshwan gained interest massively from Horrible Science. Yeah, yeah, and that
Yeah.
kind of puts, it makes
That
nonfiction
was a turning
interesting.
point of my life.
Yeah, I can see
That
what he
was a
means.
turning
Like
point.
some nonfiction books, they actually make them interesting, and they make you
Yeah,
want to read.
true.
For example, Horrible Science. In his case, I didn't really get into reading through
when I was
Horrible
younger,
Science.
Horrible Science was really entertaining, and now, same thing with Yuval Harari. He actually makes it interesting because now I'm more mature. I can actually understand his thinking, and I'm like, oh wait, this is actually interesting. This is kind of like an actual story plot.
I
but
think I
not
started
much.
from Diary of the Wimpy Kid and Tom Gates. They were incredible for my age, like at 11. I loved them. Every
my
single
God.
word was like
Tom
new,
Gates.
the next generation for me.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That was one of the book series I also read whenever I was younger, and I really regret it because I feel like it was such a waste of time. Honestly,
Bro.
the story is terrible. The characters are terrible, and like you don't even like learn anything from it. Like there's no complex vocabulary or anything.
Do you read nonfiction or fiction? Mostly.
Mostly fiction, but I am reading a bit of nonfiction because I want to learn Django for this like Python thing that
Okay,
I'm doing.
Django.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
what is that not how you say it? It's
I
Django.
just say Django.
I mean, you could just
Django
say
is a more
Django, but
technical
Why?
way.
Why do you go
Yeah,
through the
so-
effort of saying Django?
it's not a lot of effort. Come on, it's one syllable.
Okay, one thing I'm gonna say. Two of us over here are actually somewhat writers.
The two writers are Sky and Sid. They are, um, yeah.
They
What they write.
yep.
Yeah, which is right.
They're gonna have #1 bestsellers.
That's literally what I think.
Why is that a thing? Why is every book a #1 bestseller?
I don't even.
I think
There must be some kind of loophole.
if it's well, that could be true, but I think if it's a #1 bestseller, then it's gained enough popularity for you to hear about it. So that's why you only hear about #1 bestsellers.
Oh, that's
Karthik,
true, actually.
Karthik, I bet you the next book you read, if it doesn't say #1 bestseller, I will.
Sid, it doesn't. It's not like an automatic thing.
Cannibalism.
It doesn't mean that if you write a book, you're not going to be #1 bestseller. It's just that because they're more popular, you hear about them, and that's why you think that everything is a #1 bestseller.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I can
okay,
see
I'm
what
gonna
he's
I'm gonna
thinking.
prove you wrong right now, Karthik. Like, if I don't prove you wrong, I still will eat you.
I guess it is also a marketing strategy.
Sid
It
just
could
wants
be,
to eat
'cause, like,
Karthik.
Sid, I think your point is invalid. Every book is not a #1 bestseller.
Okay.
It just feels like it though.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you.
Because like
But
99% of the books are #1 bestsellers that I get anyway.
99% of the books that you hear about are, well,
Well, that
that's
I
what I
get from
think
like the
anyway.
library or whatever. If like whenever I do go to the library, I pick up a random fiction book. I read the
Mhm.
back of it to see if it's interesting or not. I look at the front, #1 bestseller.
Yeah, I guess it could be. I'm not fully knowledgeable in this, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But I guess it is a marketing strategy.
Okay, one more thing, guys.
Yeah.
There's one actually genre of books that actually haven't, well, maybe not genre, but like type of books that actually haven't been explored into that well. Well, at least by Western society. Light novels.
What's that?
Light novels, well, they derive from like East Asia. I think Japan. I think ish. Yeah. But basically, they're like almost series of books. It's almost like okay, you have a show, right? And you have certain episodes, and then you go to season. It's like that. So you got a series of light novels, perhaps like 3 volumes, and then within each of those volumes, you have like 2 or 3 books, like 2 or 3 like light novels, and they constitute to like a large story. It's almost like the Harry Potter series, but it's a little bit more complex and more in depth.
I think that's why it's not so popular because people want something simple.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Some of these light novels are actually just mind blowing.
But I think again, I definitely get you, Yashwan, but it comes down to opinion, and maybe you might not have the same opinion as the general public. Because some
Yeah.
people, I don't know, maybe they, because I haven't even heard about them, so clearly they must not be so popular.
You know, it started off with literally me and Sid actually being writers. So let's actually talk about that. All right. So Sid, how do you like your writing?
It's fun. I mean, I can really get my creativity going, and at the same time, it's fun. It's actually hard because finding vocabulary, like complex vocabulary, while you're writing is, believe it or not, like very hard. Like, you can try it. It'll take you a while. It'll take you like a long time just trying to get the correct word to fit in that sentence.
Yeah.
That's particularly what I felt hard about so far. But in terms of what I liked, it's just like I can write my own story and like put whatever I want. So you have no boundaries.
Yeah. All right. So okay.
Go on,
Okay,
Yashwant.
my opinions now.
Yeah.
Okay, so my experience with writing is that it's like a nice alternative to uh, doing movies, because in movies that's like one of the biggest markets out there right now. Movies and shows, that is, in terms of entertainment, biggest market. Um, so I'm just thinking, like, that's really expensive to produce and make. But if I have a really good story and it's a really good idea, um, books, you can just write them down and publish them. They're not too much of a hassle in terms of actually producing.
Yeah.
I mean, publishing maybe a little bit, but like producing, it's so much easier. And not only that, but um, you can make them as complex as you want. In shows, you're constrained to exactly what's happening, and also like your uh, how well your machines can actually cope, because you got CGI, and then you got like how long your movies can be,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. There are
and
more
also actors
constraints.
as well, and also doing things that are just physically not possible.
So now you're saying filmmaking is much more constricted than writing.
I don't think it is.
Yes.
Have you seen any Marvel movies? What they have insane editing and CGI and all that. I'm pretty
Yeah, but
sure
that's like the
anything is
biggest. That's like the
possible at
biggest
this
ones.
point.
I know. Yo, you're literally saying that okay, you're comparing Marvel, but how large is the actual Marvel, like,
Yeah, I
well,
get your
actually no,
point.
not that. How big of a thing is it? Like, how much economic backing, like how much
Yeah,
financial backing do they have
Compared to Yashwant writing a
compared
book.
to,
Yeah, true.
yeah. And not only that, also don't forget, some of the greatest stories came out as something that was drawn and not made by a computer. Like,
Even Marvel.
Death Note. Yeah, yeah, I suppose that came out as comics. Yeah,
Yeah.
in Death Note came out as a manga, actually, and it is one of the biggest mangas that have ever been written. And they're not. It's not a film or a show. It's literally something that's drawn down on paper. So that is basically my point is that with writing, you're not as constrained to any kind of like rules, and also making it is so easy. As in, all you need is the idea and perhaps a little bit of skills in writing. Everything else is
yeah. I get your point,
it's free.
and
As in,
yeah,
it takes a lot of money to get yourself a really good camera and like a lot of storage capacity and
yeah,
like
yeah,
editing software.
Yeah, it's a big
But
process.
Google Docs is free.
yeah,
Google Docs is free. You just get it
I
on.
mean, you got
Or
to get the
if
laptop.
you can't even get a computer, even if you can't go to a
Paper.
library and use something on that,
Paper.
paper, yeah,
yeah. I think
pen and paper works the best.
yeah, definitely. I agree with you. Writing is like a whole. It's a brilliant medium to put your creativity down, and it's a great way of expressing yourself. It's a really powerful thing as well. We don't realize the importance of it, but it is a very, very powerful thing. And tying this in with the idea of like fiction versus non-fiction, do you guys prefer writing non-fiction or fiction?
Oh, non-fiction. No, fiction for days.
I could write both, honestly. As in terms of non-fiction, my trades that I'm able to do, like my engineering.
Yeah.
I can write non-fiction for like quite a long time, giving people like like the knowledge, and it's the basis on how to like build a rocket, or even just making rocket science easy for people, saying that's not hard. And also at the same time, I can explore much more in-depth ideas with fiction. Like, for example, the book I'm doing right now, it's exploring very deep into the concept of a human mind and the things it sees around itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of subtle. It's very subtle, as in you may not see it instantly, but there are some interesting ideas put out in there. It's
Yeah.
very subtle though. In the first 34 pages that I've put up online already. So yeah, I've already put the first 34 online. So if anyone thinks that, well, as in the audience, if any in the audience think that he hasn't actually made anything, so he's not a proper writer, I have made it. It's up online. It's on my website. I can give the description. I
Link
can
in the
put it link in
description.
the description.
Yep. We'll do that.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to
So
put
in
one
the
more
first,
thing. When writing a non-fiction book, I think generally for kids we need more experience in life. Like you're
Oh
going to
yeah,
come up
that's a
with more
very
points if you
yeah,
have more experience in life.
yeah, yeah.
I
Like
can also come up with non-fiction, but it's just like you won't you won't cover all areas of what you're writing.
Well, it's not only that.
Uh,
It's kind of like if you want to write a really good nonfiction book, uh, if you don't have the experience and if you don't write it like um, really well, you need to have some knowledge in that field before you write it.
Right, so yeah, I think we've covered enough topics. We started from what was
Education
our
system.
education system. We really dwelled into that, made some criticism, and tried to suggest a few ideas on improving it. And then we moved on to some music, um, kind of hinting at what sort of music we like and what sort of music we don't like, just our interests. And finally, we looked at the fiction versus non-fiction books. And yeah, well, it was a very interesting conversation. Everyone, thank you very much for listening to the podcast, and we will see you soon.
yeah. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.